Have you ever wondered who truly pulls the strings behind the scenes of New York's underbelly? A question that teases the mind, hinting at the existence of an unseen power. The power that flows silently yet assertively, shaping the course of the city's dark corners. The power that belongs to the MAFIA, a clandestine network of organized crime syndicates. Today we delve into the heart of this power, into the realm of the five families. An intricate web of influence and control, the five families are the true puppet masters of New York's underworld. They are the unseen hands that manipulate the city's shadowy affairs. Their reach extends far and wide, their influence surreptitiously shaping the Big Apple. Their story is one of power, intrigue, and relentless ambition. A story that will take us through the birth, rise, wars, and the current state of these formidable entities. So let's plunge into the depths of this dark world. Dive with me into the dark world of the five families, the invisible puppeteers of New York. Our journey begins in the early 1930s, with the creation of the Commission. The year was 1931, a time of economic depression, bootleg liquor, and the emergence of organized crime syndicates. It was during this tumultuous period that the five families were born. These families, each with their own distinct character and influence, were the Bonanno, Colombo, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese. The formation of the five families was orchestrated by a man of vision, Salvatore Maranzano. Maranzano, a Sicilian mafioso, saw the potential for a structured organization, one that would rule over New York's underworld with an iron fist. He divided New York into five separate territories, assigning each to a family. The Bonanno family, led by Joseph Bonanno, was assigned the territory of Brooklyn. The Colombo family, under the leadership of Joseph Profaci, took control of Staten Island. The Gambino family, led by Vincent Mangano, held sway over Queens. The Genovese family, under the rule of Lucky Luciano, controlled Manhattan. And lastly, the Lucchese family, under Tommy Gagliano, was given the Bronx. This division of power was not just geographical. Each family was tasked with different responsibilities within the Commission, a governing body established to maintain order and resolve disputes among the families. The Gambinos, for instance, were entrusted with labor racketeering, while the Genoveses took charge of the lucrative gambling operations. However, the real power lay in the hands of the key figures within each family. Men like Joseph Bonanno, a shrewd and ruthless leader, or Lucky Luciano, a man of charisma and cunning who would later overthrow Maranzano himself. These men were the puppet masters, pulling the strings of the city from the shadows. The stage was set, the players were in place, and the city of New York would never be the same. As the years rolled on, the families cemented their hold on New York, each in their unique way. The Bonanno family, under the leadership of Joseph Bonanno, expanded their influence into various industries, including cheese importation and funeral parlors. These legitimate businesses served as a front for their more nefarious operations, allowing them to launder money and maintain a veneer of respectability. Meanwhile, the Colombo family, headed by Joseph Colombo, focused on infiltrating labor unions. This gave them control over vast resources and made them a force to be reckoned with. They used their influence to manipulate construction projects, ensuring a steady flow of illicit income. The Gambino family, under the rule of the infamous Carlo Gambino, built an empire through their control of the waterfront and the garment industry. Gambino's cautious yet ruthless approach allowed the family to thrive, and under his leadership they became one of the most powerful mafia families in America. The Genovese family, often referred to as the Ivy League of organized crime, was led by Frank Costello and later by Vito Genovese. Known for their sophistication and business acumen, they held sway over numerous industries, from construction to the garment trade and even the waterfront, challenging the Gambinos for dominance. Lastly, the Lucchese family, under Tommy Lucchese, carved out a niche for themselves in the garment industry and waste management. Lucchese's leadership was characterized by a preference for low-profile operations, which allowed the family to amass power while staying largely under the radar. Each family, with its own sphere of influence and unique tactics, rose to prominence, turning New York into their playground. They became the unseen hand guiding the city's underbelly, their power seeping into every corner and crevice, permeating the very fabric of the city. With power, however, came the inevitable conflict. The thirst for power and control sparked bloody wars within and between the families. The quest for dominance is a common thread in the human narrative, and the five families were no exception. Their history is marred by brutal conflicts, both internal and external, that would alter their dynamics and shape their future. One such conflict was the Bonanno War, a power struggle that erupted in the late 1960s within the Bonanno family. The catalyst of this conflict was Joseph Bonanno's audacious plan to assassinate several rival mob bosses. When the plot was discovered, it triggered a violent internal feud that lasted for 4 years. The war ended with Bonanno's exile to Arizona and a major reshuffling of power within the family. On the other hand, the Colombo War was an interfamily conflict that spanned the early 1990s. It was a brutal public war that claimed the lives of many and caused significant damage to the Colombo family's operations. The war was triggered by an attempted coup against the then family boss, Carmine Persico. The bloody conflict ended with Persico's faction emerging victorious, but the damage had been done. The Colombo family was severely weakened and its influence diminished. Such brutal conflicts were not uncommon among the five families. They were a testament to the volatile nature of the mafia world, where power was the ultimate prize and loyalty was often a matter of convenience. These wars served as catalysts for change, reshaping the balance of power and leaving a trail of chaos in their wake. Yet, amidst the bloodshed and turmoil, the five families demonstrated a remarkable ability to endure. They adapted, evolved, and continued their operations, albeit with a changing guard and altered dynamics. It's a testament to their resilience and a chilling reminder of the lengths they were willing to go to maintain their influence and control. In the face of adversity and conflict, the families continued to endure. Fast forward to the present day, the five families still exist, albeit in a different form. Gone are the days of brazen shootouts and public assassinations. Today, these families operate under a veil of secrecy, their activities more covert than ever before. The five families have adapted to the changing times and the constant pressure from law enforcement. They've traded in Tommy guns for white-collar crime, focusing on activities like loan sharking, racketeering, and cybercrime. These methods are less flashy but equally as lucrative. The Gambino family, once led by the infamous John Gotti, continues to exert control over vast criminal enterprises. The Genovese family, often considered the most powerful and influential, remains a formidable force, despite numerous high-profile arrests over the years. The Bonanno family, after being hit hard by law enforcement in the early 2000s, has managed to recover and rebuild. The Lucchese family, although smaller in size, still commands respect in the underworld. And the Colombo family, despite a violent internal war in the 90s, has found a way to endure. Each of these families has shown a remarkable ability to evolve and survive. They've learned to operate within the shadows, utilizing technology and modern methods to continue their criminal activities. They've also learned the art of blending in, presenting themselves as legitimate businessmen to the outside world. Their influence extends far beyond the confines of New York City. They have connections in Hollywood, Wall Street, and even in the halls of government. Their reach is truly global, with ties to criminal organizations in countries like Italy, Russia, and Colombia. Despite the relentless efforts of law enforcement, these families have managed to persevere. They've weathered raids, arrests, and even the occasional internal power struggle. They've proven time and time again that they are a resilient bunch, capable of adapting to any situation. Their influence may be less visible today, but make no mistake, the five families remain a potent force in New York's underworld. The five families, a tale of power, conflict, and resilience. We've journeyed together through the birth of these formidable organizations, witnessed their meteoric rise to power, and stood aghast at the wars and conflicts that shaped their destinies. From the early 20th century to the present day, the five families have left an indelible mark on the history of New York. Their influence has permeated every facet of the city's life, from politics to business, shaping the city we know today. They stand as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, even in the face of adversity and conflict. This deep dive into their world has merely scratched the surface of their complex and intriguing story. If you've enjoyed this plunge into the world of the five families, don't forget to subscribe, share, and turn on the bell notification. Until next time, keep exploring the unseen corners of our world.